Kristel Tejada. A victim of an oppressive education system, 16-year-old Kristel Tejada aspired to become a doctor. For her, education is their family's only treasure. She was a behavioral science student of UP Manila. In 2013, she wrote a letter seeking for support to sustain her education, following the economic woes their family endured. Tejada said their family depended solely on her father's income as a part-time taxi driver. However, Tejada was forced to file a leave of absence LOA and because of her inability to pay the P10,000 tuition. Her father, who had just lost the job in the middle of the year, pleaded with the administration of UP Manila to allow her to continue studying, or else permit her to sit in on classes. But her name was then taken off in the class lists and seat plans despite her attendance in classes. 2 days after Tejada filed for LOA, she disappeared. Until one day she took her life from drinking silver cleaner. For 11 years, various students observe March 15th as the day to remember and demand justice for the tragic death of Tejada, a fellow iskolar bayan and victim that fell in a commercialized and repressive education system in the Philippines. Kristel's struggle continues to resonate. Hindi lang suicide. Ang nangyari kay Kristel kundi isang murder. Pinatay siya ang parehong sistemang dapat ay kumakalinga at humuhubog sa kanya. At katulad niya, ang mga estudyanteng gayon ay binibigo na nakamamatay na sistema. Die of suicide, but of murder. She was killed by the same system that should have cared for and molded her. And like her, students continue to be frustrated by the same murderous system. She further lambasted the continuing commercialization of the education system in the country, even after the enactment of the Republic Act 1931, or the Universal Access to Quality Tertiary Education Act, simply referred to as the Free Tuition Law, in 2017. The free tuition law is already there, but they are still trying to impose various fees on the students. There are requirements with hefty fees or costs shouldered by the students. And there are the high costs of fare, accommodation, food. In 2022, Commission on Higher Education CHED, Chairperson Prospero de Vera III, reported that the free tuition program benefited more than 2 million students since academic year A 2018-2019, up until AA 2021-2022 A2. Of the number, 1.97 million students across education institutions did not have to pay their tuition. However, some students are no longer covered in the program following the Implementing Rules and Regulations IRR, which was approved in 2018. Among the exemptions were students taking up law and medicine as second degrees. We thought that by the time we are third-year medicine students, we will be covered by the free tuition law. Miranda finished his nursing degree in 2023. He then enrolled in medicine proper, which is a 5-year study of and clinical sciences, humanities, and internship in the university. In UP Manila, students qualified under Integrated Liberal Arts and Medicine program are covered in the free tuition law. INTARMED is a special program that shortens the whole medical education by 2 years. In 2017, the CHED and the Department of Budget Management allocated P317.1 million to provide free tuition for medical students in 8 state universities and colleges, including UP Manila. Students can avail the free subsidy through cash grants to medical students enrolled in state universities and colleges, CGMS SUC's program. However, the CGMS SUCC program only lasted until AI 2019-2020, following the slashed budget of CHEAG in 2020. The program's budget declined from year to year until it was discontinued. The same year following CGM's SUC's discontinuance, Sen. Ralph Recto filed Senate Bill No. 30, which seeks to amend the free tuition law by including the provision of tuition subsidy qualified students in CUCs. Pagkapasok. A Lateral Unit 3 Lu 3rd. First-year medical school. Upon entering Lateral Unit 3, the first year of medical school, the tuition fee is around P51,000 per semester. There is an option to apply for a discount, with a baseline of 33% provided under the Social Action Scheme STS. The STS listed Tejada was included in bracket D. Her family believed she should be in bracket E2 to avail free tuition, and would even receive a stipend of P2,400 per month, or P12,000 per semester. STS was formerly known as the Socialized Tuition and Financial Assistance Program, STFAP, which was implemented in 1989. Youth groups have dubbed these socialized tuition schemes in the National University as smoke screens of tuition increase because they replaced free education, or zero tuition, and implemented a scheme where students will now pay tuition based on their family's income.
Educational institutions would be affected in the proposed economic provisions for the 1987 Constitution. According to Balitan, this will further open schools to intensified repression in forms of campus militarization, railroading of mandatory ROTC, tuition hikes, budget cuts, among others. There are many problems with this because it will prevent us from working as doctors. Our training as doctors will take longer. Another thing, patient safety. By that time, we must have forgotten the responsibilities to do as nurses because we studied for 5 years as doctors. Miranda shared there are 201 students enrolled in his batch, of which majority availed STS. It's sad because until now there is still tuition knowing that this is a state college. From personal experience, I have not yet been paid for tuition even though I have a discount because it is a big deduction from my livelihood. That P51000, even though it has been reduced to P30000, that even if it's P30000 and it's cheap here and up, that's a big reduction in our daily expenses.